Hey, this is Kurt Isles coming to you from the Creek Bank. I'm sitting in front of Temper and Ground Coffee, my office I use during the week to write. Basically, every word of where I come from was written in this coffee shop. For whatever reason, the noise and all the things going on, they don't bother me. It's very, very good for my writing. And I'm at the corner of 4th and DeSoto. Just ignore the traffic going by, but I wanted to get outside to tell this story. The name of the story is from chapter 41 and where it come from. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but it's called Roy and Loki. Now, every Tuesday afternoon, exactly where I'm sitting here, there's a Bible study, and usually about 15 of us show up, and usually about half of them are homeless. And we meet out here, and our pastor Andy, pastor of Church on the Levee, leads us in about 20-minute Bible study. Everybody gets a free coffee, and we just visit. And it's where I've really got to know the homeless. Our group that meets on Sunday at Church on the Levee, there's 50 or 60 there. It's hard to get to know everybody. But the group that comes here each week on Tuesday afternoon here, I've got to know them. And that's why the week I saw Roy come up. Roy was the guy I got to know, and all the guys at the Church on the Levee had dogs. I love dogs. That's how I got to know them, going up, talking to them about their dogs, petting on their dogs as they allowed me. Always there's people every week who bring Ziploc bags of dog food to them. But it's just something about it, and I'd watched my homeless friends, they were always stroking the back of their dogs, and I thought, this is part of their mental health. It's just petting on dogs. And that's why on the Tuesday that's in my story, Roy and Loki, when Roy came up and I saw the worst face of grief I've seen in a long time, and I heard somebody say behind me, something happened to Loki. Loki was his dog that he loved. Oh, Roy loved Loki. And they were always together, always on a leash, and so I couldn't figure out what happened, and somebody told me that someone had shot and killed Loki. And I was just shocked because Loki was very low-key, a good-tempered dog. And later on I found out a little more about the story. I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but let me tell you the part my little dog Bandit. You can't see him right now, but he's sitting at my feet. He likes to come with me down here. And on this day that Roy came up without Loki, Bandit was here at my feet. And Roy just happened to sit down next to us. And as the Bible study began, Bandit just got up and went over and put his head right on Roy's boot. And I'll tell you the rest of the story later. But it reminded me that God has put something very special within dogs, where they can feel so much about where we're at and what's going on. You'll enjoy the story, chapter 41, called Roy and Loki, from where we come from. Now I want to remind you that the book is going to be available this Tuesday. Let's see if we can get right side up here. It's going to be available this Tuesday on Kindle as an ebook, October 21st. And then on the 31st of October, Halloween Day, it will be available in print. And then later in the month of November, I'll have personal copies. I'll be bringing around Southwest and Central Louisiana for book signings. So we hope to see you then. I'm glad you've joined us here today. Bandit and I tell you goodbye from Tep and Grind Coffee.